How's everybody doing? Welcome back, Blue Monster, with another video. And we're doing another OBS recorded video. So it's just going to be a straight recording and it's going to go right to YouTube. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. Just want to say before we get started, thank you guys so much for the support. The more subs we get on this YouTube channel, the more it incentivizes me to keep posting content like this. So if you guys like it, please sub. It really shows me that you guys like the content, and I'll keep making this videos for you. So also want to give a thanks to the Twitch community for the follows as well. We just hit 1100, which is crazy. So as far as today's video, we're gonna do Grux, guys. We're gonna talk about builds and things I like to do with Grux. I feel like not that many people in NA play Grux the way I like to play it. I like to really maximize his potential with like builds and like his kit. And so we're gonna just talk about certain things, right? So first we'll do kind of like a breakdown of the character. I'm sure you guys know how Grux works, but it's also really important to like read the little details in his kit, right? So all right, so you got his passive, which scales with physical damage. It's a bleed. We know how that works. This basic scales with physical. We know that. So double pain is a very interesting ability in the game. So double pain applies on hit effects twice, guys. So basically, what I want to make sure you guys realize is that on hit effects twice means items like Sky Splitter and Rapture and even augments like Technocrat, their effects are twice on just this one RMB. So that makes those items really, really good on Grux. It gives them a lot of value. And yeah, so like obviously it heals, right? It scales with HP. So that's also like once we start getting into builds, we'll talk about it more. That's why I like to build, items like a little bit tanky items. Like I like to go damage and then into tank because if you think about it, if you don't instantly pop, right? The more health you have, the more armor you have, the harder you are to kill, the more RMBs you do, the more you heal, right? So it's kind of like a cycle. I like to build this guy like really damaging and then also really tanky. He's like a hybrid beast that's just unkillable, right? And he does so much damage. Smash and grabs, we know how that works. The dash, we know how that works. Pretty simple and self-explanatory. And then one thing you guys need to realize, like, I'm sure some of you guys know, but like some people like over skip this, right? So not only are you just getting attack speed, guys, you're stealing their physical power. I don't think some people realize that. Like in a 1v1, like let's say you're 1v1ing like something like a crunch, like late game, like you actually do just win at a certain point. Like if you land your ult and just kind of keep swinging, you're stealing all his power. And then also, guys, the more you swing, you actually gain your ult longer. So if you hit people, it extends the duration by zero point 0.5 seconds. So like at a certain point in the game when you have a certain amount of attack speed, if you keep swinging and keep hitting people, you actually like never run out of the ult. It's kind of insane. So I don't want to spend too much time here because you guys probably know some of this stuff, but I just want to make sure if you didn't that you do know, and yeah, how important that is to know. So we'll talk about some augs and we'll talk about some minor augs, and then we'll hop into practice and talk about some builds, right? So now, okay, this aug I haven't tested myself too much. I've seen it and I understand how it works. Um, Basically, you gain 10% total attack speed per enemy hero you hit, also including camps, right? So this applies instantly. So I feel like this item's actually really good early game, like a really good early game item. I feel like it's fine late game too. This is basically just increasing attack speed, right? So per enemy. So if you like, let's say you grab 3 people and you RMB all of them, you'll literally gain total 30% attack speed, which is quite a bit, right? So it's a pretty good augment, I would say. This one I've been running this since it got buffed. I feel like this one isn't as good as Red Mist early game, but late game I feel like it is better because the way I like to build Grux, like I said, I like to put some armor on him. So like late game, guys, when you have like Sky Splitter or Rapture, with your build, and then you have like the built-in lifesteal that Grux has, and then you have like armor. you're really just healing so much. Like at the end of the game, like the 13.5% healing, like plus all your other healing, it's pretty insane, guys. I actually feel, like unkillable, like unless they just all focus me, right? So I like to run items like Draconum, but like I said, we'll get into items once I hop into practice. But that's Lust for Blood, right? I feel like that's pretty good right now. You guys, if you've tuned into my stream before Lust for Blood got buffed, I was just perma running Blink. I feel like this item is, or this augment is actually just so freaking good. Like, there's just so many situations that like a Blink is just so good, right? So this is also an option if you feel like you need a Blink, or like you're playing against a comp that maybe this will benefit you, right? Like I like to run this into ranged offlaners, for example, things like that. I feel like this is a really good one too, right? Like this is definitely an option. Now as far as miners, I was actually doing veracity for the longest time until technocrat was explained to me, and then it also got buffed recently. So I feel like the technocrat is just kind of like what you have to run, because like I said, the R&B applies on hit effects twice. So that cooldown that you're seeing there is you multiply that by 2 on just your R&B. So you're actually getting insane cooldown times, and then also guarantees you 5% attack speed. So I feel like it's no questions Technocrat. If you really don't want to run Technocrat, then you can run Veracity. But that's really it. There's nothing else you'd run on this. Divination's just kind of troll compared to these two. And then for the minor Augs for the off lane, I think it's really just between these two. Steadfast is really good against CC, 5% damage reduction and 15% tenacity. It's honestly crazy stats if you guys really think about it. And it's lasts for 2 seconds every time you get CC'd, right? And then if they don't have that much CC, then you would just run Executioner and just deal more damage. Yeah, which also like applies to your bleed, right? So like if they're about to die and you have a bleed on them and it's 6% more, that's 6% bleed. That probably will secure the kill. So we'll hop into practice mode, guys, and we'll go over some builds. Um, but like, and we'll talk about laning too, right? So laning, guys, I feel like there's not too much to really talk about on laning, to be honest with you. In this current state of the game, Grux just wins. Like, I feel like Grux just wins. Like, if you're losing in lane with Grux, you got to just kind of review your macro and your micro. I feel like it's not really a character issue. It's just more like the things you're kind of doing in lane. Um, in my opinion, he doesn't lose to anybody in lane, and unless it's like Countess, honestly. Like I think Countess can beat him. Greystones can give you a hard matchup, especially if they have Tainted Oath Augment early. Like they can actually win if they outplay you, but that's kind of really all that comes to mind, to be honest, guys. Everybody else, like, is kind of just losing to Grux right now. Grux is really just that guy in the off lane. So, it's as far as like laning goes, guys, like just play the minions smart. Make sure you're trading with your abilities correctly. R&B on cooldown, and I mean, if you look at it level 1, guys, it's 30 mana for R&B. Like that's nothing. You know what I mean? So this character is kind of insane. I want to show you guys a clip, kind of like also just like give my Grux credentials so you guys like actually like see what I do with Grux in a live game. I'm sure some of you guys seen this clip, but if you haven't, I want to show you this clip. It's one of my favorite clips I have on Grux, that I've actually clipped. I feel like I have plays like these all the time, but we're gonna turn the volume off here actually. But yeah, so this is against 3 comp players. I basically outplay them, so I want to show you guys this clip and just show you how insane Grux actually is. So Bako's behind, I get tower dive, I flash backwards, right? So this is all just on the fly. I'm just quick thinking, right? So I ult, pull him, dash through him. Now I'm inside the tower, right? He's dead. And R&B's back up. So guess what? I heal, do more damage, and he flashes and he's dead too. So that's like one of my favorite plays with Grux. Like, I feel like this character is like actually one of the only characters that can do crazy stuff like that. It's insane because of his healing. But that just shows you how strong Grux is, and what I do in these like ranked lobbies, even against like pro comp players. So, um, yeah, there's for that. So we're gonna talk about builds, guys, and build patterns. So, okay, so builds, guys. I feel like it's pretty like simple with Grux, right? It's like nothing too crazy. Um, okay, I think Basilisk is probably like one of the most goated items in the game. If you just like read it like strictly like what it does, guys, it just gives so much. It gives you power, health, and haste, and then the stats are insane. The 8% movement speed. If you combine that with you know, Ice Scorn, I love running Ice Scorn. I feel like Ice Scorn on Grux is insane. If you can, I'd run it. Sometimes around Gravitum if they have like Wukongs or, you know, characters like that that I need, or Urace. And then cleanse if you really need it. Don't run Judgment because I'd rather just run Ice Scorn if I can. Um, but yeah, this is usually like 99% of the time my first item. It gives you all the stats you want. I even run this into like freaking wishy characters, even though they don't have that much armor. I still run it just because of the stats, and the 20 haste is just actually insane. So we're just gonna throw that on. Next item, guys. Now this, you have two options here, right? You have Sky Splitter if they are really tanky and you just want to do straight damage. Okay, Sky Splitter is a good option because this is just a lot of damage. All right. If you want good damage and you want a little bit more sustain, you can go Rapture. Right? It really just depends what you're aiming for, guys. There's nothing else to it. There's no like special like secret to it. It's just what you want. If you want good damage and you know, a little bit more sustain, Rapture is good. I like Rapture more, to be honest, because like just the way it feels, as far as like survivability. And then Sky Splitter is also really good because you just get a ton of damage. So like you definitely feel the Sky Splitter damage and you definitely feel the sustain from Rapture, right? So let's just say I want more sustain. I'm gonna go Rapture. Now the third item, guys, this depends on for me personally, it depends on one thing. Okay, it depends on one thing. If the if the damage that the offlane and the jungler are outputting are the same damage, meaning they're both physical, then I'll run Draconum. Now, if they're both magical or if they're both, or if they're different, now that makes a difference, right? Why would that make a difference? So, if they're both physical, I'm going to gain an immense amount of value for having this armor because they're both dealing the same damage. And I'm going to negate both of their damage with just this item. And then also the healing on it is insane, right? So we'll throw that on if they're both physical. Now, if they're different, if they're one magical... Sorry, guys, my nose is like itchy for some reason. If they're both magical, or we'll say if they're both different, right? Like, let's say one's magical, one is physical. I'm running Salvation. Why? Because HP is just going to, you know, give me more value overall for fighting both of them. You know, usually you find yourself fighting the jungler and the offlane all the time. I feel like, you know, I'm getting ganked all the time. I'm fighting them all the time. You know, so this is just going to give me value for both. Like most of the time I usually am just going Salvation, right? Now, if they're both magical, you can kind of decide, right? Like if you're running the healing augment, which I've been running, I feel like it's really good right now. You can run Void Helm. Why? Because they're both magical. You're gonna get a lot of value for the magical armor, and you get more healing. You get a lot of health, and you get more haste. Like it's all great stats, right? So just kind of think about the game like that. Nothing is just ever cut and dry. Nothing is ever like, oh, it's one build and that's it, right? You kind of have to like think like what you're aiming for, what you need, what you're playing against. Like, do I need haste? Do I need more damage? Do I need you know, more like sustainability? Like, do I want Sky Splitter? Do I want to just like cut them in half? Or do I need more sustain because like I'm getting targeted and like, you know, I want to make sure I can live a little bit, right? So it's like things like that, right? You got to figure out like it's all on the fly. Like builds change every game. But we'll go with Salvation, and we'll go forward, right? Because I usually do end up with Salvation most of the time. So now at this point, I'm probably once you get the first three items, guys, I feel like are the most important when it comes to like laning, and then also like figuring out like your build pattern, right? Like where you're going with the build. Like this is kind of like determine like your like what your last 3 items are, depend on what your first 3 are, right? So now that we're here, right? I'm probably gonna go something like Draconum 99% of the time. If I can go, if they have a lot of physical damage, I'm going Draconum. If they have a lot of magical damage, I'm going Void Helm, right? We'll say we're going Draconum. All right. Let's say they have a lot of physical damage. I'm going Draconum, right? Now, item I love to go. Now, if they have a mixture of both, I'm gonna go probably Void Helm next. But let's say they have a lot of physical, right? Now, this item I love to build Stonewall. Now, why Stonewall? Well, guys, let's go level up real quick. We're late game. We're gonna assume we're like level like 16, 17, whatever, right? At this point in the game, we're probably like really high level, so it's gonna get up there, right? We'll say we're over like 18. We'll just say we're full level. Okay. I'll explain this to you so it makes sense. So you only have 2 physical armor items, right? Now, Draconum and Stonewall. So Draconum, a lot of healing, good damage. The healing is really what we're looking for because it's a healing build, right? Now, Stonewall, you mitigate 5% damage plus 5% of your total physical armor. So, quick math for my math, wizards out there. It's 5% of your total armor. My total armor is 225 at this point with these items. 10% of 225 is 22.5. Divide that in half, 11.25 or something like that. So let's just say 11% flat. So 11% plus 5% from the item is 16%. So I'm mitigating a total of 16% physical damage from just these 2 items plus the armor mitigation, right? Because that doesn't include armor mitigation. That's just a flat rate of mitigation plus the armor mitigation. So you're mitigating 16% of physical damage plus like whatever the number this is, which I don't. They have that right now, but you're mitigating basically a lot of physical damage for just these 2 items, if that makes sense. I feel like that's just a really good choice as far as trying to be tanky, right? This is like a build pattern I would do a lot. Now, if I want to finish off the build, because I'm doing a healing build, I'm going Void Helm. I feel like I've been testing this lately. It's just been working so well for me. Another option, guys, is that a lot of CC, you can go Unbroken because you're getting a lot of health. You get more tenacity. You get the magical armor that you want. And then it also increases your armor. So, once you're CC'd, you have 25% more of this. 25% more, you're at like, what, 275 armor, which if you're at 275 physical armor, that's also increasing your Stonewall value. You follow me, right? Does that make sense? You gotta think of these kind of things when it comes to like builds. So like you're increasing, so having Unbroken Will, increasing your physical armor is increasing your mitigation, right? So it's just giving you value like across the board. So like Unbroken Will is a goated item when you look at it like this way, right? I feel like those are really my only 2 options, guys. Like for my last item, like either I'm gonna go like all in on the healing build, or I'm gonna go Unbroken Will for CC and like more tank, right? Like armor mitigation, these kind of things, right? We'll go Unbroken Will. Let's say they have a lot of CC, and then 99% of the time I'm going Strength Tonic, guys. I have 10% Omnivamp. I have 7. Oh, it shows us at the bottom with the full build, right? So where does it say Lifesteal? I have 19% Lifesteal plus my Augment 13.5%. So we'll round that off to 34%, right? Plus, guys, that's not it. Plus Salvation when that procs 10%. So 44% plus, guys, 10% increased healing. So 44% increase that by 10%. Was that an extra like 4.4? So you're almost like 50%. Like with this build, guys, you're like late game, you're like 50% healing. Like think about that. Like the damage you're outputting is like literally like you're healing for like 50%, basically. Does that make sense? So like your actual healing late game is insane. Like it's actually so insane with this hero. And then you're getting your R&B, you're healing on your R&B. So that's kind of it for the builds, guys. I hope that makes sense. I feel like You want to just build into like what you're playing is, what you need. Obviously, if you guys need tainted, tainted blade's an option. If you need physical tainted, like you're going against a Bale, um, usually I feel like Bale is like the only character that you need like physical tainted, which would be like tainted guard. I'm trying to think of other ones. Um, yeah, I don't care about ADCs healing. Like I feel like I just kill them like with this, like if I get a hold of them. I'm trying to think who else. Like Bale, I would go like I would start off with short sword. I'll just delete the build. Like this is like my one time I do this, guys. I start off with short sword, and then I build this, right? And then I go tier 2 this, and then I finish Bassi. Then I finish Bassi as, and then I'll like do Rapture, and then I'll finish Tainted. That's what I like to do against Bales. That's me personally. I feel like there's really no one else like you would do that against. I'm trying to think. That's kind of it, you guys, for the builds. If you have any questions, leave me comments. I hope this helps. Like tips for Grux, guys. If I had to give you tips for Grux, like your pool is just actually so huge when it comes to like team fighting. If you can land a big pool, guys, set things up for your team, you know, it's kind of like a GG's. You land a big pool, you just start fighting. Your team's with you. This character is insane. That pool is actually just the biggest thing for getting killed, right? Just practice the pull. You know, there's jump pulling, there's flash and then pulling, right? Oh, my haste isn't on, so now I'm on a 5-minute cooldown. Unlucky. That's okay. But yeah, so you know, you can flash and then pull. Like I don't usually do that often, but if you need to, you can. You know, like these kind of things, right? It's like realizing, like we'll go to lane. I'm only at 3 atoms, right? So I'm not full build, but like realizing like how fast your R&B cooldown is like really important, guys, right? So it's like making sure that you're playing around your R&B is like just huge, right? Positioning is important with Grux. Making sure you're not like getting inged out by everybody. And I mean, this character, guys, he just smashes everything. I feel like he's not too complicated. He's not like Severog where I gotta like try to like break things down and like, you know, make it complicated. But like if you have any questions, you know, I'm streaming on Twitch, so you can just hop in the stream, guys, and like just ask me like whatever, you know, you don't understand. I can hopefully answer it. But yeah, it's like building. You just build what you feel like you need. Just because I build these items doesn't mean it's all like right or perfect, but it just works for me. It makes sense to me. It's just what I like to build. But yeah, leave me comments, guys, if you have any questions. I feel like I kind of covered everything. Went over build. Laning, like I said, you should just be winning lanes. You know, if you're bullying, guys, I will give you a tip for this. If you're bullying the enemy offlaner and they're playing like under their tower and they're a tank, it's almost like, or not even just a tank, but like a hard character to kill, like Kwongs or whatever. Bale's Greystones. If they're just playing scared, guys, because you're winning, like it's at a certain point you just push the lane, take enemy jungle, take your Cyan, rotate to mid, play Fang Teeth. Like you don't really like, at a certain point you don't really try to kill them anymore because they're just playing scared. You're not going to kill them. You don't want to get yourself baited for ganks. So if you're bullying the enemy offlaner hard, look for things on the map. If you're ever behind, then just try to like you know, climb your way up farm and you know, play off your R&B cooldowns. I feel like it's hard to get behind with this character unless you're getting ganked. So but yeah, guys, I don't want to like ramble on too long. That's kind of it. Thank you guys so much for you know, watching this video. If you have any questions, let me know. And please, guys, drop me a sub. Like it helps me so much and like tells me that like I'm doing something right with these videos, and it you know, incentivizes me to keep going. So I hope you guys enjoy, and yeah, that's it for today. So I'll catch you guys later. All right, peace out.